Hello, one and everyone. This is Hemant. I believe I should be live now. So, on this stream, I want to just start with discussing what should be the way ahead for preparing for NLSAT 2025. Recently, NLSAT 2024 has just concluded. It's not been even a month. So, it would be a good time to discuss how to go about shaping your preparation for the next year's exam. A little bit of introduction as to who I am. My name is Hemant, and currently I'm a second year student at NLSIU, and I'm enrolled with the 3-year LLB course. I sat for the NLSAT exam in 2022, and in that year, I got a rank of All India rank 8. I have been also involved with NLTI for the past 2 years. We have been coaching and mentoring students, and we had an active coaching program. The last year we had a full year program, and before that we had a crash course program to help students. So we have been actively providing coaching and mentoring services to the students for the past 2 years, specifically dedicated to NLSAT. So that's just a brief introduction of who I am and what I am doing with NLTI. Now, moving on to what the course outline and what the course plan is moving forward for the NLSAT 2025, I want to just generally speak about as a aspirant who's preparing for this exam and is going to sit for this exam in 2025, then what should be your preparation strategy should be like and what you need to do for the exam for the 2025 one. So the first thing you would ask is that is and how long does it take to prepare for this exam and what would be the ideal time to start preparing for this exam. So there are many things to consider here, not just the time duration that will take you to prepare for this exam, but also what all factors you need to keep in mind while preparing for this exam. Now let's imagine that this exam is going to happen around the same dates as it has happened this year, which is around mid March, which means unlike the previous years when this exam happened in April, now the exam is happening a little sooner than the usual course. So, keeping that in mind, starting as early as possible would be the best strategy because you need enough time, especially if you're a new aspirant, somebody who is not given an exam which is like NLSAT, especially which involves reading comprehension passages, which involves writing subjective answers. If you have not or not given any exam which involves such question, then you would definitely need a little bit more time duration to prepare for this exam. So I would suggest that as soon as you can start preparing for this exam, especially giving yourself more time is a better thing to do. Because if you look at some practical constraints, a lot of our students who sat for the exam this year faced a problem that their exam clashed with the DU LLB exam as well, and therefore they had to manage their time between NLSAT and also other competitive exams that they are sitting for. And all these exams happen around the same dates. So to make sure that this problem does not come for you, if you start preparing for somewhere around December and January, you might be facing this issue that you have to allocate your time between NLS and also other law exams. Maybe you're sitting for MHSET, or you're sitting for the DULLB entrance exam, which is CUET, or you're sitting for the Symbiosis entrance exam. So there are too many law entrance exams that come together at the same time. So you need to make sure, especially if you're seriously going to pursue uh, a career in law and if you're considering coming to NLS, you need enough time on your hands to prepare for this exam. And for that purposes, you need to start well in advance to make sure that you do not face a problem of which exam should I go for, which preparation should I focus more on. So जितना जल्दी शुरू कर सकते हैं, the sooner you start, the better it is for you to just get a good head start. The second thing is how should you generally approach your preparation, and this is very important. The exams pattern is very different from the all other exams you have given in the past, and the reason is because it does not just involve plain MCQ. You don't have to just simply read a question and answer it. There is also a lot more things that are involved in this question paper. So you have a passage that you have to read, and based on that passage you have to answer critical reasoning questions, you have to answer GK questions, you have to answer English based questions, all of which requires a little bit more nuanced understanding. It's very different from other competitive exams where you can just simply learn concepts, you can apply concepts, and you can possibly clear the exam. But in this case, you have to be a very habitual reader of comprehension passages. So now imagine you as somebody who has not been in habit of reading comprehension passages, and you do not have as much preparation or do not have as much practice of doing that in the past. So it certainly takes a lot of time to build a good amount of pace. It takes a lot of time to grasp the concepts that come in a reading comprehension passage. It takes a lot of time for you to also get used to reading these passages at a certain pace, because the most critical part of this exam, if you will speak to any aspirant who has either sat for this exam in the past, and speaking from my own personal experience, the exam is very long and it takes a lot of your time, which means time management is very crucial. And to learn the time management, you need to start quick enough or early enough so that you can catch up your speed as you are preparing for this exam. It's very difficult if you are preparing the last few months for you to suddenly catch up the speed. So knowing where you stand at this point is very important. If you're somebody who's not that experienced with reading comprehension passage like question paper, then you should start a little early to make sure that you can catch up the speed. You are used to reading the comprehension passages, you understand the nature and the type of questions that are coming in the exam. That also means that this exam only has about three editions so far which have happened. Only three times this exam has been conducted, which means there are a lot of unknown variables, which is why you need enough time to prepare, to make sure that irrespective of how the question paper comes, you're already prepared. It's not like this exam has been happening for 10-15 years, so the previous year papers will tell you everything you need to expect. That will not happen because it's not happened for that long enough in the past that you can predict the next year's paper. So there are so many unknown things that are at play, which means having a good idea of what you need to expect can only happen if you are well in practice, if you have been starting your practice a little early, and that's all going to help you a lot. Lastly, if you're somebody who's a little experienced with all these things, maybe you are used to writing some answers and reading comprehension passages, having an early practice will allow you to spread out your time. Because as I said, a lot of your undergraduate students, you have your final year exams coming in the last few months of your degree. You also have other competitive exams coming in. So make sure that you have a good understanding of the fact that you need to be able to dedicate yourself to this exams preparation a little early, and not that you're saving everything for the last, because that might add up too many things to your plate. So keep all these factors into mind as you're preparing for this exam. Now, how do you get resources, which is the other big question for this exam, is that kahan se resources milenge, how should we go about finding the correct material to prepare for this exam. So I'll start with some basic things that you should keep in mind, and then I'll move on to what we have to offer for you in helping you with the preparation for this exam. Now, starting with just some basic and general resource guides that you can use. The first thing is that you can certainly find the previous year papers available on Google. A simple search will direct you to the previous year the three papers that that have happened so far. Other than that, there are not so many resources which are available for preparing for this exam. In part A, maybe you can refer to some other competitive exams where you have reading comprehension passages. Maybe the CAT exam is one such place where you can find those. As we move to part B of this paper, where you have questions which test your critical reasoning skills, which test your writing skills, which test your critical aptitude skills. For that, it's not that easy to find available, or at least online resources as easily available. So for that, you definitely would need a dedicated preparation module or a mentorship program, so that you can not only find relevant set of questions to practice, but also that you're able to write answers to them and get feedback on the same. So do keep in mind, it's very difficult to find anything online on this which is reliable enough, because there are no such exams which have a similar type of questions. Only NLSAT asks you those kind of questions in part B, and no other exam does. So you will not find anything online which is reliable enough to allow you to prepare good enough. So that's why it's really important that you have a good idea of what resources you can easily find and what you cannot. So how do we help you in this entire preparation, and what we have to offer you? So it's a very, we've been doing this, mind you, for the last 2 years. We are very well accustomed to giving these resources to the students. We have had good results in the first year when we launched our course. About out of the 60 students that were enrolled with us, about 8 of the students got into NLS. The last year course, which sat for the NLSAT exam this year in 2024, we had about 130 students who enrolled with us. And the results are impending at the moment, but we are more than hopeful that we'll have a positive turnout. But as and when the result comes, we'll know of how many students have cleared it. But we are very much hopeful that we'll get a maximum turnout in terms of how many students clear the exam. what do we have to offer for you? And this is a very realistic estimate of the things that we are going to provide to you, because none of these are any unrealistic estimates or exaggerations. These are exactly the features that you'll find in our course that will be launching very soon. The first one, starting with, is a dedicated mentorship program, which involves a list of mentors. The three of the mentors you can see just below in the poster. Other than that, we have a list of other mentors as well. All of them are the students of NLS, are enrolled with the 3-year course, and are students who have cleared this exam. So they'll be sharing firsthand their own insights as to how they have cleared this exam, and they'll be helping you with how you can shape your preparation strategy in different aspects of the exam. Like, how should you make sure that you should read a passage quickly enough to save some time? They'll give you tips on how you should prepare your GK, what resources you should follow for the GK, how do you go about writing your Part B answers, what you should write in your Part B answers to fetch maximum marks. All those kind of things would be covered in our mentorship. So it'll be a entirely dedicated module series. We'll have weekly sessions which will span across the year. So starting from the day when you enroll with us, our course is most likely going to start from May, which means starting from May till whenever the exam happens, let's say in the March, we'll have weekly sessions in which we will break down all the important parts of this exam into simple manner, and we'll be covering those concepts with you and explaining those concepts to you in the most simple manner and the most easygoing manner. So be assured that if you're somebody who's totally starting from point zero with no idea of how this exam happens, you'll have a smooth walk with us as we take you through the different parts of this exam and how you can approach those parts of the exam. Then we have live and recorded training sessions. This is just to facilitate ease for those students who might not be able to always tune into live sessions. So in that case, we always have recorded sessions. Even in the case you're joining a little late, maybe you are watching this video somewhere in August or September or July, you'll be able to access all of our previous lectures, because they'll be recorded and they'll be saved on our website, so you can easily watch those lectures and catch up with the course. So you'll not face that issue that if you're joining a little late, then are you going to be left behind. You can always catch up with the course by watching the previously recorded sessions. So as I said, we have weekly teaching sessions on all the important parts of this exam, which is comprehension, legal aptitude, logical reasoning. So everything this exam can possibly cover, we'll be covering in our sessions, and we'll be taking you through this entire uh, process of how you should approach this exam and everything that you need to prepare for in this exam. We also have training sessions on writing Part B answers and legal essays. Now, it's very important that Part B answer writing, which you do not have too much guidance on, you're given adequate and proper guidance on that answer writing skills, because Part B answer writing largely depends on the students, or at least the best source to get an information on Part B answer writing is from those who have already written those answers and those who have cleared this exam. So a lot of our Part B answer writing modules rely upon our own experience and giving you the best strategies in how you should approach the Part B answer writing. So in this, we will cover one, the relative length of your answers, how much you should write in your Part B answers, what you should write in your Part B answers, what are you expected to write in your Part B answers, what are the type of questions that can possibly come in Part B questions, what should be your writing strategy, and what should be the content of your Part B answers. What kind of content would get you better marks and what would not get you better marks. So all of that would be covered in our Part B answer writing modules and sessions. And I personally believe that since there are not so many resources available out there which can give you proper guidance, I feel that we can do that much better for you, because we'll be collaborating our own personal experience to bring forth one of the best modules for you to give you a better hand at preparation. Then coming on to doubt clearing sessions, that'll also be a part of our weekly session. So after almost every mock, we'll have a doubt clearing session as well, where you can generally discuss not just your own personal doubts, but general doubts that you might have with respect to some session which we might have conducted, or generally any doubt pertaining to this exam. So we'll also have that constant interaction with you in forms of the doubt clearing session, so that we know what your doubts and queries are. Now, coming on to mocks that we'll be providing you, we'll have more than 20 plus full mock tests, which means that Part A plus Part B mock tests that will be provided to you. Those mock tests will be hosted on the website itself, which means as you'll attempt your Part A mock tests, you'll get a real-time feedback on how you have you performed. You'll also get a ranking of how have you performed in comparison to your peers who are also on the course. So you get a good idea of where you stand and how well you are doing in comparison to other students. You also get a mock analysis which tells you where have you went wrong, which questions did you give too much time or spend too much time on, and where have you committed more mistakes. So that entire analysis that happens for the mock, you'll be provided that as well, which will be provided on the website itself. Beyond that, we also have sectional mock tests. Sectional mock tests are to allow you to prepare for those specific parts of the exam that you are not so strong at. So imagine you're not that strong with GK, so you'll have sectional mock tests for GK. If you're not strong with critical reasoning, we'll have special mock tests dedicated to critical reasoning questions. So you have sectional mock tests where you can practice the specific parts of this question paper which you are not strong with or which you need more practice with. So we have sectional mock tests as well. We'll have approximately more than 30 plus sectional mock tests in all the different sections such as logical reasoning, English comprehension, and general knowledge. Now, we also make sure that since you are going to write these mock tests, for part B, we have a very holistic evaluation process. So, as you'll submit your part B answer scripts to us through the email, we'll provide you feedback for how have you written your answers. So, not only will give you marks for your part B answers, we'll also give you a feedback of how well you have done in your part B answers, where you could have done better, and what you missed out in your part B answers. So we'll provide you a very real-time analysis of your part B answer writing, and we'll give you a feedback of what you should have done better, where you went wrong, and what you should further include in your answers to make your answers better. So that feature is done, and the all of your sheets that you'll be sending will be checked by the students of NLS itself who have or who are enrolled in the 3-year program who have cleared this exam. So we make sure that the feedback you get is from the students who are acquainted and who know the format and the pattern of this exam, and they know what is expected from this paper. So your feedback is going to be exactly what you need to clear this exam. Beyond that, as I told you, we give written evaluation and individual feedback for part B answers. We also have sample answers for all the mock tests. So you'll also get sample answers for all the part B questions that you will be getting in your mock test. So not just the feedback we'll provide you, but also the sample answers, which means that how and what you are expected to write beyond telling you through feedback will also tell you through sample answers. Those answers are written by a team of students from our end, which are indicative of all the things you can possibly write in an answer. So it's a model answer of sorts that you can learn from to see what all in your answer could be done better. So you also will be provided with sample answers or model answers for the part B questions. Lastly, some other ancillary features such as we'll provide you sample part B problems, we'll have section mock tests for that as well, and we'll have most probable essay topic list as well to give you an idea of what kind of essay topics can possibly come in the exam. And for that as well, we'll provide you sample essays to give you a guidance on how you should approach your essay writing. All these features are a part of the bundle that we'll be providing to you as part of our NLSAT 2025 course. This is a full-time course and will be dedicated in this course full-time, as the course or the brochure indicates. Will be involved in your preparation strategy step by step and will be guiding you at every step of the way, which means we'll make sure that your strategy and your preparation is covered from all the ends, and you have the best resources and you have the best material and the best guidance to prepare for this exam. And that will be our aim moving forward as we provide you with this package. Other than this, we also will have a separate mock test series for the students who do not feel that they need a mentorship or do not need the video lectures. For them, we'll have separately a test series in which you will be provided with all the mock tests, the sectional mock tests. You'll have access to sample answers. You'll also be given the individual feedback for your all the questions that you or answers you write for the part B answers. All the features will be available to you minus the mentorship, which is for the students that enroll with the mentorship course. So on all your ends, we'll be making sure that we cover your preparation and we give you the best possible modules and the best possible material to prepare for this exam. We are very much experienced at what we are doing. We have a dedicated team which is experienced at providing mentorship for the NLSAT, and it's a dedicated team. We are not involved in too many exams at the moment. We are limited to just making sure that we provide holistic guidance for the NLSAT itself. So our focus is on this exam alone and no other exam. So we make sure that all our attention and resources are concentrated at helping students prepare for this exam. So this is roughly all you can expect from us, and what generally you can expect from this exam. And I believe should have answered also the question of what is the right time to start preparing for this exam from purely strategic. Just for the repeating, for the sake of repetition, I'll say it again. It's ideal that you start as soon as you can, because as you move closer to the exam, there are too many things that will come to your plate. And it's also a very new exam, something a lot of you may not be that experienced with. So it's very good to have a good idea of what you can possibly anticipate by already enrolling with us and getting an idea of everything that this exam can put forth. So that's why it's always preferable to make sure that you have an easygoing approach or an easygoing strategy for preparing for this exam, and not putting everything all together in the end days as the exam is coming closer. So with that, I believe I can conclude this session, and that should give you a clarity on everything that this exam is possibly going to entail. I thank you all for tuning in with us, and if you do choose to enroll with us and trust us with your preparation, I can assure you from our end that you will have a good experience. And as you can also visit our website to get testimonials of the previous students that have enrolled with us and have cleared this exam in the past. I'm happy and will be happy to see more of you turn up for our course, and as we'll be guiding you. Thank you once again for tuning into the session.